Hello, everybody. Sorry. Hello, everybody. Hope you have had a good holiday period, and I'm sure everyone is as happy as this cheery chappy Chris playing his guitars. And actually, I will come back to some of the stuff Chris has done in a moment. Just before we do anything, we need to mention the channel sponsor, odys.cc. Check them out if you're interested in age domains or done-for-you affiliate websites. You can use the link below to sign up and get $100 to spend on whatever you want to spend on there. So there you go. But coming back, Chris, to your stuff, I noticed you've been playing around on
everything
on TikTok. And, yeah, man, crazy ass videos going on there. So, how are you finding it first and foremost? Are you getting any traction?
I mean, I did notice a couple extra people. I don't know, probably 2 within the channel. That's it. Like that mention anything about TikTok. You know, so like I was just, at first I was astonished, you know, the first couple were 400 to 700 views. So that's 400 to 700 new faces that saw Chris Pamer SEO, you know. Yeah. Even if I just get one more person, that's who cares. It's 15 seconds to be like, Durr! And then come follow me. You know what I
mean? Yeah, it was crazy. It woke me up. Actually, I watched it and I'm like, whoa, what the hell? But yeah, exciting stuff. I was just curious to know how well it was going for you, because as you know, I didn't find a lot of good SEO traction on there.
No, so just nonsense. Yeah. I saw you doing nonsense. To be honest, I just followed the lead. I was like, yo, he's getting tons of views. I was like, he's being silly. I'll just be silly. Screw it.
But guys, it is a question and answer session. Put your questions into the chat. We have Fred Hutterson here. Hello. Happy New Year when it comes. Randy Roday. Justin Weeks. Happy New Year to you too when it comes, Justin. Website ranking, evening chaps, good to see you. Elton Musa, Paul Hogden, happy Hogmany in advance. So yeah, I hope you all you guys have an amazing new year and all the best for 2021 and all of that good stuff. But keep your put your questions in the chat. We will get round to answering them. But I promised a guy that I was speaking to earlier on today, Hamza Altaf, that I would ask a question. So he was messaging me questions on Facebook, and I'm like, dude, I can't explain this through a message. You know, come to the Q&A session and we'll ask it. So basically, what Hamza wants to know, Chris, is how do you get a GMB profile verified without your postcode showing up?
How do I get a GMB verified without the post showing up?
The postcode, yeah.
Why would you not want to show your postcode?
I'm going to assume he didn't actually go into that detail, but I'm going to assume maybe it's his home address and he doesn't want people to see that.
Well, generally, you'll go in for service area business. But usually the service area business for citation purposes, you want to use your zip code. You have to distribute something. So that's why I'm stuck on the zip code part. I would use that. But you could do service area business. This is common, you know, very common. You know, yeah. I wouldn't worry about it.
I wouldn't worry about it. That was going to be the answer I was going to give, but I just didn't want to go into a Facebook chat explaining the benefits of citations and how important they are for your GMB. And obviously that zip code has to be there.
Definitely.
In my opinion, it does. You know, obviously, you know, there'll be people that can argue that point and they've got something ranking without it and all that stuff. But in general, you know, it's the citations are the kind of links, if you like, for your GMB and you do need consistencies of your NAP, which stands for name, address, and postcode. So I think it goes against what GMB is, in my opinion, and you're just going to have to either accept it or get a mailing address and work your way around it. So just wanted to cover that off, as I did promise them. So there you go. It's a hell of a lot easier to say it that way than try to type all that out. It'd take me about 20 minutes. Islam is asking, what do you think of audio, infographic, images, document sharing websites, and submission? Do they have any value?
I think that goes back to the debate of a link is a link, right? But not all links are created equal. Do they have value? Very little. Depending upon the campaign and budget is really going to determine these types of strategies that you're going to be utilizing. It's as plain as that. You know, if I could go buy one link that's of relatively good quality, I'd have to build 100 of those to equal, we'll say, right? If we had to look at it from that standpoint. So is there value? Sure. But is it the way to go? Maybe for tiered properties, I wouldn't do it as a standalone strategy.
Yeah, I would probably tend to agree with that. You know, document sharing websites and submission. I mean, you've got the likes of Staxio.tools, which is a tool that builds out, you know, Google properties and stuff like that. And, you know, it's all kind of low quality stuff, really. I mean, it will help in some way using Google's properties and passing a little power from there. But would you want an article on, you know, something a lot better that's just a lot quicker and easier 100%? So
that's right.
You can use it as part of your strategy, but
I like it.
An end all for me.
I like those small ones because they're so easy and cheap to go build. I like to use those as unstructured citations because you could get a lot of them done. You could go, you know, pick your favorite fiber worker, you know.
Yeah.
So
you would potentially use something like that as foundation links or something like that, would you not? Or just to diversify your anchor text, or, you know,
that's right,
build up a little bit of DR, you know, if you're doing it for a client to humor them or whatever. But yeah, that's the kind of way I look at them. But other people may be different. Tommy Finnan, good to see you, man. Long time no see. You're always popping in and dropping up. Jesus, Chris, what are you doing, man? What is that you're drinking?
Well, it's a quaint beverage.
Jeez,
you know, a little something.
That's not like the hardest thing ever to drink out of.
No, well, this way I guarantee I got my gallon. You know, like, hey, I got to keep, you know,
amount of bottles, like, just so that it fits around your mouth, like
the
hard way. That's madness, absolute madness.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know those little bottles, like we'll say the Deer Park and stuff. I'll buy a case, I'll put it here. It comes in 35. Those little bottles are just, well, you know, it's sort of like when I have this, it's like, oh boy, I gotta get a drink. Yeah, those little bottles go fast, man. They do.
Oh man, honestly, you crack me up. I also seen someone else mention when I was promoting this live today. The tobacco chewing SEO, that is now becoming your name. I've seen that a few times. The tobacco chewing, bucket drinking SEO guy.
Hey, but they know my name.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. I've never had a bad word said against you. I've had a few tobacco chewing and stuff like that, but I think it's all done with good taste. But Happy New Year, whoever the Facebook user is. You need to change your settings to allow your profile details to come through. Steve Button, Happy New Year when it comes to you as well. Thank you for coming along. ZA Electrical, Merry Lockdown. Yes, that is
very merry.
Not so merry.
My son thinks that these shelves in here are freaking the ropes, like in a ring. He's like climbing up. He's like this. Oh, you know. I'm like, no, don't climb up there.
Jeremy Den Hartog. I'm looking to register a domain in Spamzilla, but the SZ score shows it having a bad word, which is payday loan. Upon looking it up in the Wayback Machine, it looks like this was a legit business from Utah. Is buying a domain like this going to negatively affect things?
So you're registering a domain and it's triggered, oh, this is looking bad because there's one instance or two instances of a particular term within an anchor text profile is what I'm taking from this, right?
Yeah.
If it directly fits your niche, the domain name, the rest of the anchor text profile, the referring domains, is it indexed? Is it getting traffic? Is it fitting the rest of the criteria, but it has this one issue? It's hard to find a perfect domain. Aside from that, maybe start looking in other sources, because I went through Spamzilla. I was working with it for a month. What you're going to find is a lot of leftovers. Not to say anything bad about the service, but it's a lot of leftovers. I might start gearing my attention towards other sources to buy domains, is what I'm getting at.
Check out ODYS. They do all that grunt work for you.
I didn't think of that. Damn, another plug. I should have been on that. I'm sorry, Craig.
Yeah, you're a bit slow today, Chris. Come on. But yeah, what I would say, Jeremy, is, you look at tools like Spamzilla or even SEMrush when you're doing a link audit and they're saying that your link's toxic because of a certain, the position of the link or even the word used. Does that mean it's going to have a negative impact? Probably not. You don't have to take these tools as gospel. They're just potentially suggesting that this did say payday loan, which obviously triggers up as potentially spam. But, if it's one instance or whatever, I don't see that as bad. What the hell is that you're trying to plug, Chris?
It's a little chilly in here. I need to crank up the heat. I'm tight with a lot of things, but heat's not one of them. But down here, it's just getting cold for some reason. I was thinking my ears are kind of cold, but I don't want to. It doesn't fit me. No. It's my daughter's, actually.
So another Facebook user, my question to Pamer, which is going to be Palmer, I'm assuming, is category or tags do play a role in SEO? Should we include in sitemap tags and category?
Does it play a role? Sure, it's there. For me, it's another step. A category page to me is different than what's listed within a WordPress, right? A category to me is a location page that lists my location. This is a category page or a top level page. But if you want to, because I like to refer to this because a lot of people like to utilize, go look at Brian Dean's sitemap and see what it says. It's page. That's it. Yeah. So take it from the pro, right? So, but that's what I follow too. I think it's a good way to do it. And why create more work for yourself? Keep it easy, keep it simple. For what? I don't do it. So there you go.
What I would say, do not use tags at all, because they create another URL for you, which is going to be like craigcampbellseo.com/tag, and then that blog post. So do you need that? Absolutely not. Do you want it? Absolutely not. So do not use the tags there, because it is just not good for SEO. In my opinion. So I've used stupidly years ago, used to tag everything in WordPress, do my stuff and then slam all the tags on it.
Yep. And you're like, why did I just spend an hour doing this? Why?
Yeah. Why and then you look at the URLs of the variations of the same page, man. What the fuck? And then you've got to clean that shit up.
Then I look at the pros. I look at your stuff. I go look at the pros. Your stuff, any of the pro guys, and see what they're doing. Are they doing it? No. There you go. There's your answer.
Yeah. So I did do it though. I made a massive mistake, and I was like, shit, and then had to sort that shit out, and it's not fun work. So
no.
Avoid it. Anyone listening? Like Juice SEO, happy new tier. That's quite funny. Well, maybe I'm just sick in the head, but yeah. Well, for me anyway, join Craig on tier 4 today. That is bad news for you guys. I see a lot of you guys down there are now in tier 4, which means we need to fill your time with more videos. Well, that's my plan. I'm going to be smashing out all sorts of videos while we're in lockdown. So why the hell not? I was always going to do it anyway. So yeah.
And there's a lot of new people making a run for the at us, Craig. I've noticed on YouTube a lot of you know, I'm thinking, well, you guys can't keep up with me. I know that. I'm just gonna keep pummeling. Gotta run, boys.
No, it's hard work. It's hard work, and you can't catch up in that year run at it we've had, especially, you know, for the last year we have been consistent. You know, even if we've not been able to do a live, we've either done it the next day or done it 2 hours earlier or stuff like that. Very rarely have we postponed anything. So I think you will find it hard, but fair play.
I like that. I like your I like how you do it in the waves. I just can't stack them up, you know? Like I'll make one and I'll feel like, oh, I'm good for today. You know, it's just, it's like an accomplished goal for the day. You know, it's on the whiteboard every day. It's like, okay, I need a video. I like the wave idea though. I do. Yeah.
It really just depends. I think the wave idea is probably better because you do need to rest up and, you know, obviously do things like this for consistency, but yeah, the wave idea, everyone each to their own. You know what I mean? I just couldn't be arsed banging them out every day like you do. It's just madness. So
it is. I like it though.
Yeah, but listen, as I say, if it works, it works. So no complaints. But here is a question from Yazoo123. Hello, I'm upgrading a 12-year-old Drupal 7 site. The authors have content type containing videos embedded from YouTube. This type of content has generated many pages with little to no text below them, so many URLs. Some YouTube videos have been taken offline by the authors, and I'm thinking of removing all those pages, about 2,000 of them. What is the best option? 301 redirect, just delete, leave a 404, or I'm assuming a 410 is what you mean, rather than a 401. What would you do in that instance, Chris?
Yeah. So any page that's receiving traffic, you know, you could decide to 301 redirect that to something that's relevant. Aside from that, all the other pages I'd remove, but you're going to want to redirect those to the 404 page. You know, that's what I would do, because you probably have a custom 404 page set up. So you don't want them to just leave, you know, so send them somewhere where, you know, send them somewhere. That's what I would do.
I would do pretty much what Chris says, but the pages that have no value at all, that get no traffic, I would 410 them and just get them out the index as quick as you like. If they don't add value, do you want them being in that index anywhere, index at all? No. You know, I think, you know, there's counter arguments against that as well. But if they're not getting any traffic and they don't do anything, just get rid of them. You don't want to have potentially 2,000 redirects going on. You know, redirects obviously slow your website down. And do you want to be doing that in a massive scale? My thought would be, where you have to, yes, of course, do it. But I would try to keep that limited somewhat and just get rid of the trash and just throw it in the bin. 410 it, keep your crawl budget, and move on after that. But good luck with that. It sounds like an absolute.
So you would trash. Wait a minute, Craig. So you would trash them. Anything with decent traffic, you're gonna 301. Yeah. Anything with moderate to okay traffic, you wouldn't send to a custom 404.
Oh no, I would delete it. Yeah, I mean, I'm just talking about stuff with no traffic.
Oh, that's dead.
Just get it to fuck 410 it. Anything that gets any kind of traffic, whether it's 10, 20, 50, all of that stuff adds up. So I would be either redirecting it or you know, doing something, whatever you want to do with it. I wouldn't be 410 anything that was bringing any form of traffic. Let's get that clear. So, you know, if it's 1 or 2, you might have a decision. But in the grand scheme of things, anything that just adds no value, would you want that redirect on there? Absolutely no chance. There's no point. So, yeah, I didn't make that clear enough. So, yeah, that's the answer. Commit question. There's about there's a bit of buzz in the affiliate marketing community about switching to infinite scroll for content and posts. Higher ad revenue for being one benefit. Should blogs switch to infinite scroll?
You know, this is always fun for me, right? Do what's working. If anything is working for you right now, I wouldn't change anything. I would just do more of what you're doing. Just because you read on Search Engine Land or Search Journal or in a forum or whatever that there's something, whatever, don't ever change what's working. I would keep running. So no, I wouldn't run out and change anything unless you're not working right now. Like unless it's not working, whatever you're doing. So that would be my best advice.
Yeah, I think I would probably agree with that. You know, I don't have infinite scroll on my website, and I don't know if I've ever had that on any of my affiliate websites, and I've always worked reasonably well. So just because someone says it's going to work well or could work well, until I see sufficient evidence and maybe mine doesn't work at all, then I wouldn't be looking to implement that. Just
maybe on one page, launch a new page and try it out. Yeah,
you can try it out. It's the same, but like years ago, people said AMP is the big thing. You go to SEO conferences and everyone's saying AMP this, AMP that, it's going to take over the world and blah, 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 blah. I never ever jumped into it. And it's dead. AMP is just, it was a worthless strategy. Why go to the trouble of doing that when, 2 years later, it's just in the bin. So
you're like, what? Infinite what?
So I think with a lot of these things, people are just looking for things to talk about, and they keep things simple and easy for Google, and that's all you need to do. Steve Button, I'm thinking of adding the words 2021 into some of my blog posts, like what you need to ask when hiring a photo booth in 2021. To already publish blogs and articles. Is this good for SEO?
I like, because you're probably, for your authors, you're already building in that schema, right? You're already building an author schema. You're building out the entities, I would hope. So generally on those pages, because you're listing the author, you're listing the date and the title and the stuff that's being, when it's being published. Just I'll revert back to Brian Dean's. Look at his stuff. His is automatically every single day updating. Do you think that he went through that trouble to do that on purpose, or do you think that it probably has a benefit and that's why he's doing it? So I think that is a benefit. I don't know about within the content, because you don't want to keep updating it, but at least a reference on the page that it's fresh. I do think that it could help you. Yes.
I mean, I think obviously 2021 is also getting searched for. In general, it's a good thing to do as well. What I would say on top of this is do not change your URLs and whatnot, because obviously then you're going to have to do redirects. And a common mistake when a lot of people do this stuff is they go in and add the title up there, best things, best photo booths 2021 or whatever, and then that URL saves, and then next year they have to go in and change it, do a redirect, blah, 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 blah. So just make sure you keep that URL standard, and you can play around with the rest as you see fit. And I think, freshness of content, updating stuff, adding things there, and maybe even adding the year in if the search volume is there, it can't be a bad thing. So go for it. ZA Electrical, hi guys, what's your take on alt tag stuffing in the back end of GMB photos?
I don't think that stuffing is going to be go look at the images that are ranking, right? And go take a look at those pages. Are they doing it? No, they're utilizing a description word with the keyword in it, right? It's as simple as that. And then you need to be basing the amount of keywords and description words based upon your leading competition. So how many images do they have, and how many of them are optimized alt tags? That's what you need to be doing. If you want to add an extra keyword or a partial on top of that, or a variation, sure. But stuffing, why? No, that's not what's winning.
Yeah. Are you going to argue with Holly Starks on this, Chris? I'm only kidding.
I was thinking, would she be doing such a thing? I don't know.
Obviously, seen images.
She might have tried it.
Big shopping days like Black Friday. We've done that previously. But yeah, I was only joking. Actually,
did you see me stop? I'm like, Holly, I don't know.
I was talking to Ryan Durrani, who might even be listening in today on WhatsApp, and I can't remember what we're talking about. What was it again? And it was one of the things that Holly's well known for, and Ryan was debating about it, and I said, are you going to argue with Holly Stark tactics? They went, absolutely not. You calling Holly a liar? I was like, absolutely not. I said, are you scared of Holly? He just wrote, absolutely. So, you're a scary person to some people, Holly, but I still love you.
Well, when you have somebody that's not scared of risk, that's a scary person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Facebook user, hey, what do you think link in the YouTube video's description plays an important role in SEO? Will it help ranking? So links in your YouTube description, do you do that sort of stuff, Chris?
I didn't used to, right? But it did get back to me because I saw people looking into this, going out of their way to test this, right? And I guess that very first one, along with the comment, does apply some type of benefit. But I look at it as a takeaway from the video because, so do I do it? I try not, I only add my own one. So I don't think it's the most powerful thing, but you can add one. Why not?
It's something I've played around with for a while, as I'm sure you can see. I've got a whole list of social media links and stuff on there, but I'm not sure how beneficial that actually is. I saw another guy that I follow do it, and I thought, fuck it, I'm going to try this shit out and see what it does. But
I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm sorry. I was under the impression that if you're trying to take people away from YouTube, YouTube won't promote your videos. But so then I went looking, that's why I never put them in my description. I only put them in the comments. So then I went looking, let's go look at the top performers in my industry. Are they utilizing it in the description? And the answer was yes. So they're still winning. So that's why I started doing it. I said, screw it. You know?
Yeah, but you know what? I'm going to try it again. I'm going to whip them back off and see if it does have an upsurge in what's going on. Because obviously when you look at LinkedIn or whatever and you try and force them over to this live, for example, it doesn't really get that many, that much traction. So, I mean, if YouTube don't do that, there's potential, in their next update, they may not push those videos to a wider audience because I'm trying to force them onto all my other social media channels. So, probably stupid tested my part, and I probably should switch it off. So, that's a good question, whoever you are. And thank you for giving me a kick up. I'm going to take that note. Right, and
but they give you an option if you have a verified URL. Craig, this is, between us and whoever's this can help, but you can verify your URL to your own website. So I think YouTube wants you to put your URL. If you want to lead them off the site to a verified listing, which is your website, that's okay, but you have to do it in a card because that's what they allow you to do. So that's what I think we're on the right track there. Take them out because I'm in debate with that too. So
yeah, I'm going to take them out, man. I only done it because I saw another guy that done it, but the guy that I was following was a massive influencer anyway out in India. His name's Harsh Agarwal, and I thought if he's doing it, there might be something in this. So to hell with it, I'm trying it. Probably killing myself doing it, but hey ho, I will take it off and we can relook at this in a few weeks and see if it had any impact. And Holly, you are right. Chris is off his rocker today.
Just today?
Just today. Paul Hogden, surely there are easier ways to check you've drunk a gallon than to carry around a bucket. I would have thought so, Paul. This is just complete and utter madness. Glenn Ingram, good to see you, man. I've got a call with Glenn Ingram after this, so I will see you then, Glenn. Happy New Year to you too. Roshini, hi, Craig and Palmer. Happy to see you both together. I like the way Palmer keeps launch.
Thank you.
What's launch?
I have no idea. He likes it though, so whatever it is, I'm happy with it.
So Honey is asking, Amazon affiliate or rank and rent model, what is your preferred choice?
For a very, very long time, it's been more localized or rank and rent, I guess, but it's not really rank and rent. But I really want to more switch to affiliate because I want to be able to not have to, I don't want to be in the business all the time, So, I think it just depends upon your life, your lifestyle, what your overall objectives are and your goals and what's your goal? You want rank and rent, you're going to be working a lot. the affiliate, once you have a system, you can at least scale it and keep moving on, and it can work while you're not working. So ranking writs, it's a lot more work because you're getting stuff taken down. It's like a never-ending cycle. It's like, come on, give me a break. So it's up, it's up to you.
Yeah, you make a good point. It can be tedious work, depending on where you're doing it. If you can find some easy niches or whatever and rent that stuff out, then fair play. But anything with competition it's always going to be competitive, to be honest. So affiliate would be my option. Kamran Zulfiqar: recently I'm conducting a lot of keyword research. I'm using different tools, but they're all given random data, which isn't correct anyway and doesn't make any sense at all. Can you tell me what to consider most during this research for keywords? So we all know that there's different data that comes out, Ahrefs, SEMrush, whatever you're using. What do you make of that, Chris? What do you take out of that? I mean, we all know that these are never going to be wholly accurate, right?
Right. It's always a guideline. So you have to utilize the tools that you have to your disposal, and you have to use them the best you possibly can. You have to just, it's better than nothing. So you have to just take away what you can, it is what it is. That's all you have,
I think, Kamran, what I would say to a lot of people is the expectation levels that people have in terms of accurate data for, billions of keywords. It's just impossible to deliver for $200. Every time you're conducting a search, it costs money. These people are having to find ways to get data, and is it real-time data? Is it old data? Whatever. And that data costs the likes of SEMrush, Ahrefs, and everyone else money to do that. So I think you also have to realize that, it is a guide. It cannot be wholly accurate unless you're paying, for some custom made tool that is not being abused, and you can just pay per search or whatever. But again, you have to, for $200 a month to get that good guide is all you really need. I don't think you need to dig any deeper other than that. You can get, if something's got 1,000 searches, it's clearly better than something with 20 searches. So go after the keywords that have that kind of higher volume. But you're using the same tools that everyone else on the planet's using, and no one has any kind of special secret one. So yeah, just try and get your head around that, I think.
I've been mapping the SEMrush broad match on the keyword that's on the left-hand side, the list of keywords, to the NLP and Surfer. Because when we talked, do you remember, like, I was looking, how can I just use one tool, right? Yeah. Because I can figure out word counts and all that other stuff, exact matches, partial matches, variations. The key is the co-occurring words and the variations. And what I'm finding is SEMrush does a great job. It's when I search my keyword and that whole list on the side for the broad match, those are all your co-occurring words right there. Boom, baby. Did you notice this?
Yeah.
Of course you did. Yeah, come on.
Come on, man.
Come on, Chris. I love it, though. I've been playing with it to see, and I'm like stuffing them in pages to see, hey, can I get the same result is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But I like it. I like it a lot. What do I know?
I'm a big fan of SEMrush, I'm going to be honest. So
no.
I'm back in January. We need to get you on, Chris, actually, on one of the shows. I'm hosting a show on affiliate marketing, so I'm going to speak to Anton and get you on for one of the guests. That will be pretty cool.
I like that.
Anyway, Lizda is asking how to optimize Google search autocomplete. So no bad negative keywords show up in search autocomplete if the user searches our brand. So obviously when someone puts in like whatever their brand is, it might come up with something after it, which is going to be bad. A lot of that kind of stuff I've tried to play around with, and I've never saw anything that actually manipulates it that well, because I've got a friend, James Dooley, who some of you may or may not know. He's not a public speaker or anything, but he's reasonably well known. And we were always joking around, like, it would be pretty cool to have, like, if someone searches James Dooley, that my name would come up after it or whatever, or something funny. Is Craig Campbell better than James Dooley? Or, you know, words like that, just to mess around, goof around. And we've tried a lot of different tools to try and manipulate that, but we've never really had any real success. Have you?
No, I've been hearing about that since, you know, 07, people trying to, you know, even I've played with it with bots and everything else. Like, it's, you know, I don't know.
I think, you know, potentially, I think it comes down to the click-through rate and what the public's searching. I think if you really wanted to smash the crap out of that, you would need to heavily use micro workers or similar, and get a whole bunch of people searching for those specific search terms, and probably do it for a prolonged period of time. Would be my answer. Maybe Holly Starts can help answer that in the live chat. She plays around with a lot of stuff. I'm not sure she can answer this particular question, but she may be the person to answer that, because she probably has played around with it. She's played around with a lot of that type of thing, and may be best placed to answer that. Roshini Kargi, happy to see you both. Love the way Pamer laughs. He's got a dirty laugh. I'll give you that. My query is how long it takes for the disavow links to get removed. My website has been spammed. Thank you.
I always, as a rule of thumb, is 30, 45 days. You know, it's always, whatever you do, it's like, okay, 30 to 45 days, then I'll go back and look. But I know, as an SEO, like, you're checking links, you're checking rankings. Oh, are these links gone? No. 30, 45 days always.
Also remember, Roshini, disavowing these links, you're basically telling Google to discount them. You haven't, you know, placed these links and whatever. It doesn't mean they'll disappear from the tools that show those links. So also bear that in mind as well. You know, you don't have access to that person's website to actually remove the link, so the tools will potentially still pick them up, even though you have disavowed them. So if that's what you're looking at, just bear that part in mind as well. It doesn't make them disappear.
And remember, we're doing the work for Google, where everybody is going to the disavow tool and just giving them, here's what a spammy link looks like. Here's what a spammy link looks like. They're just compiling a massive data set of, here's what junk links look like. Just, hey, we're helping them along.
It's brilliant how Google turn all of us into their VAs, basically. So
that's really, it is.
Smart move.
Of course.
That clever to come up with ideas like that and have everyone jumping through hoops. So Islam is asking, I see that Chris Pamer website has some EDU comments backlinks. Do you think they have value, Chris?
I wouldn't take my website into consideration when determining, you know, when you're doing a lot of work for everybody, you don't focus on your own stuff. But I will say this. Do I think that Harvard link, that Berkeley link, that Stanford link, that American EDU link, do I think that they add value? Yeah, because not everybody can just go out and get those kind of links, you know, whatever else ones that I was able to conjure up, you know. But yeah, I think that they do have value. Of course they do, because not everybody has them.
I'm going to say one thing. I'm going to say try blog comments and see if they work for you. Now, this is my theory. This is a story. A guy called Israel Gaudet, who's in the SEO industry, was talking to me one day on Facebook, and I said to him about blog comments, and I thought that people were starting to utilize them a lot more. He went away and tried it out and seen massive gains. So sometimes things come to full circle where everyone still just assumes that blog comments don't work. Blog comments on the right websites do pass value, in my opinion. But there you go. That's all I'm going to say on it. Don't want everyone jumping in that fucking pool. Leave it for me just now. Is asking, can we use Web 2.0 backlinks as tier 1? Would you do that, Chris?
Sure. Why not? Absolutely. I would be selective. There's a lot of Web 2.0s, but your G sites, your Tumblrs, your WordPresses, yeah, I mean, you can utilize them, you know, but that's not going to be the first choice for, you know, it wouldn't be the first choice for a pro campaign. Generally, you want to use a authority asset to pass your power through, or use as a buffer layer. But when we're on budget, of course, it's the first step.
The key word there was be selective.
Right.
Fern Kane, good to see you, Fern. Three of my pages rank on first page, but no results. The primary keywords are more obscure, so I must add popular keywords on the other pages. But do I leave those 3 pages alone, or replace their header ones, or start over again?
All right, so 3 of your pages are on the first. These long ones they're always like, let me think. So 3 of my pages are on the first page. The primary keywords are more obscure, but I must add more popular keywords on the other pages. But do I leave the 3 pages alone and replace the H1s to start over? Well, on the pages, you're going to be optimizing your H1, your title, and URL for whatever keyword you're targeting. Inside of the body content is where you're going to add in some of those more obscure keywords, unless the obscure keywords are what you're absolutely targeting. Then you'll put them in your H1. But if you're just trying to bring in variations or other obscure terms, that's when you're starting to put them into your content with variations, alt text, things along those lines. So that's what I would do.
Cool.
Oh, you skipped over what was I wanted to answer that.
So I was actually looking at the other comments and I have no idea what you just said.
Well, it's fair, at least you're honest.
But I would be, I would go in and replace the headers. I would start adding more popular keywords rather than starting off. If it's not working, you can still get that, turn that page around and just start adding bits to it. Like I've got pages and I'll go in and add header tags and snippets of content and stuff like that to try and rank it for more keywords. Of course you do. So rather than unless the page is absolute garbage and you just decide to bin it and start again, which I'm sure it doesn't, if it's got first page rankings, but it's not getting enough results, is that page or are those pages only ranking for 2 or 3 keywords or 5 keywords or whatever it might be? And I think the difference that any of us want is we don't want our page to rank for 5 or 10 keywords. We want it to rank for 55, 105, 605, whatever. And by doing that, you've got to basically add other semantically related keywords, better header tags and FAQs and all of the other things that you want to do to make sure that you get as much as you can from that page and the content, ad schema and all that stuff as well, and everything else that you can to grab all the featured snippets and whatnot as well to drive traffic into that page and get engagement on it, which again should propel it into a good place. So that's my answer to your question, Fern.
And another tip on that, now that I've listened more and I've been thinking, another key element to do is look at those 3 keywords that it's ranking for. Go over to Search Console and see what other words Google is giving you traffic for. Because remember, if they're giving you traffic, that's what they think this page is about, right? So then if you can see those other words, then you just go over to the SERP. Put those keywords into the SERP and then scroll down to the bottom, right? And then when you see all those keywords that are related, start adding those words to your page. Because if Google already thinks it's about this and you're getting traffic, then if you want to start optimizing for more keywords and get more traffic, then it has to be semantically related. How do you find those words? Scroll down to the bottom, start adding them in. So that's just a tip.
Welcome to have tips.
Oh, yeah.
Jeremy is asking, I ended up buying the domain that has an authority score of 42 and the UR of 3674. Everything seems legit from what I can tell, but somehow it may have slipped through the cracks. So maybe I missed something. Paid all of $10 for it either way. So you can't complain with that, Jeremy. And see, even if it has, clean it up, disavow some of the garbage, work on it. You don't have to get it, the perfect domain name that drops. That very rarely happens, to be honest. Someone will catch it and sell it for a lot more money if that is the case, and there's guys out there that do it. But good luck with it. So Liam Pierce is saying, just dropped in and you guys say that tags and blog posts hurt its SEO quality. How come?
We didn't say it hurt. We just said it's a waste of time.
Yeah. Adding tags to a blog post, it's going
rough.
to 10 other URL variations of that blog post. Is that going to be a good thing? I don't see it. So I don't see any benefit of it. I think, it's just not the right thing to be doing. So that is the way I see it. But yeah, it saves me a lot of fucking bollock going backwards to try and remove them all anyway. So Tommy Finnan. So I have my GMB optimized, verified, and ranking the top 3 of the map pack locally. Get this GMB listed and ranking in other cities. How do I do it? Or is there a course on it? So what you've done for the first one, do for a whole bunch of other cities. You've done it, just replicate it out. You're going to have to either get a mailing address or somehow acquire someone's address, bribe them, send them a bottle of wine, whiskey, vodka, whatever. There's courses on it, for sure there is, but you've already done it. So do you need a course? Absolutely not. Just repeat the process again. Each location should have a page dedicated to that location, is what the way I would do it, and then just roll it out, across a number of different cities or whatever you want to do. What would you say, Chris, to that?
Yeah, and my takeaway from this was he has one, he wants to rank in a bunch more cities. Remember, if I have a GMB here, I have a 5 to 10 mile radius. So the only way to rank in other cities in that 5 to 10 mile radius is the key phrase proximity, is I need to be getting traffic from those areas, and I have to have pages and be talking about it. I have to make the connection for Google, schema and pages, and I have to be getting traffic searches. The easiest, fastest way to move out and move proximity is start getting more locations, more GMBs. Build out the pages, build out the schema, follow the same process. Exactly what Craig said. That's the easiest, fastest, not the cheapest, but the best way.
Yeah. And the way you look at it is, does it provide an ROI getting traffic to them? It should do, because there's a lot of traffic to be had. So is it worth the money you pay out to make that happen? Which, renting a mailing address for a month or bribing, giving someone $50 or whatever, it's certainly a good thing to try and do. So there you go. Back to the conversation on those tag URLs on WordPress blog posts, Chris. So it's a 410, Randy, not a 401. So
410.
410 or 404. What would you do if you had a whole bunch of those tag URLs, Chris?
410.
Would you 410 them all? That's what I done with mine. I wanted them to hell out of that index. If you redirect them, they still stay in the index. So you want them out, and 410 is fuck off out the index, basically. Well, gone is I think the right word for it, but so get them gone from the index is what I would. Fuck off out the index is fun.
I like that. That should be a blog post.
Yeah, that should be.
Here's how you.
I'll probably wake up in the morning and look at Chris Palmer's YouTube, and he'll be like, "What does a 410 mean?" It means fuck off out of the index.
20 videos.
Fern Kane again. So those 3 pages that have low key volume keywords, as I said, but I'm already using medium to high volume keywords on other pages. However, they're not ranking yet. SEO not completed, no backlinks yet, or new content. You just need to make sure you're not cannibalizing anything there, Fern. Having any kind of overlap or crossover. Just be careful with that. And obviously, some of the medium to high volume keywords, you would want to keep more focused on those keywords rather than trying to get them ranking for tons of other stuff. In my opinion, that's the way I do it. Chris, what would you add to that?
Well, reading this, I'm just thinking to myself, have you given it optimal time? Have you waited long enough? And then aside from that, have you been making consistent changes? Hopefully not. You've waited long enough. You're not making changes. You're sitting and waiting to see where you land. And then after that, then I'd go back. And are you truly optimized to the SERP? Those are the key elements, because people come to me and they'll say, "Oh, I'm completely optimized." I'll go in and I'll be like, "Well, your leading guy has 1,200 words. You have 400. He has it 83 times on the page. You only have it 12. Like, I don't know." So those are the elements that I'd be looking at.
Elton Musa is asking, did you find a way to fix the negative attack on your site, Craig? Yes, I did. I went to Rick Lomas and he's cleaning it up. I will redirect any of the URLs that are getting traffic onto the most relevant page, and I will 410 the rest of the garbage. So, Chris, you might have missed this, but someone was doing a negative SEO attack. So you know how you can basically put in a random URL into someone's website after the, chrispalmerseo.com / blah, 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 blah. So basically what someone was doing was force indexing that URL, through Amiga Index or whatever, and then blasting a shit ton of spammy links at it. And these were getting indexed and they were showing up and all that stuff. And I think there was 15,000 of them. So I had a live, I think it was on Sunday night, and I just went, listen, guys, here is the situation you need to be wary of. People are doing this, blah, 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 blah. So that's where that question comes from, in case you're like, what the hell's going on here?
What was the first step that he said he was going to do? The guy, whoever you passed it off to.
I'm just going to disavow all the garbage. The reason I pass it to Rick Lomas is, obviously I can go into SEMrush and disavow all that stuff myself, but he uses link research tools and a whole bunch of other tools all at the same time. He just basically does disavows and gets rid of manual penalties and partial penalties. That's all he does every day. So, rather than me paying, $400 for link research tools and doing all of that stuff, it's easier for me to pay him $300 just to deal with the job. And he's really good at it. Someone done it before and I got a partial penalty and he had it fixed within 3 days. So,
did you go into the log and see what IP or who did that or when it started, or you didn't go that far? You're just like, eh.
I just give it to him, man. I can't be fucked digging deeper. Because if I did dig deeper and I found out who it was, then I would spend
the whole squad.
I would spend a whole bunch of time making sure that I basically derailed the life and the whole business. So that's the way it goes.
People suck.
Yeah, jealous fuckers. Anyway, guys, make sure you also give us a like and subscribe on the channel. Also, do make sure you subscribe to Chris Palmer SEO on YouTube. I had an interesting stat, Chris. Looked at my analytics today on YouTube. 94% of the viewers don't subscribe. Is yours similar?
It's more of a 50-50 split on my end. Mm-hmm. But the stat that I really liked, I don't want to share it publicly, actually. I looked at it completely different when you showed that.
Yeah.
But I won't say.
We can talk about it.
Myself, hey, not bad. I was looking at it completely different.
So guys, make sure you do give us a like and subscribe anyway. It's really important because I want to beat that Neil Patel and Brian Dean guy, and Chris Palmer and everyone else that's in the road as well. So keep me up there. Michael Stone, would you spend hours finding and changing all the citations for a new phone number already in the free pack for your main keywords?
Would I? No, I would just go build more for the new one. I wouldn't. That's me. Change it on the website, change it in the schema, and go build more. Yeah. Just go right through and rebuild. But there's particular ones: Apple, Foursquare, MapQuest, Monta. Those the top priority ones, I would go change it in those. I'd spend the time on those top 6, but the rest, who cares? Go build more.
Barward, if my website is in page 2, can I make a backlink? Then my post can be ranked. I'll let you answer that one, Chris. I'm not sure about backlinks.
Well, if you're on page 2, that means you're doing something right? Because top of page 2 means you're almost there. That means you just need some links. So one, maybe it's hard to say. You're on the right track. I'll give you that. Okay. Optimize the content, build links. But here's a piece of, or a takeaway. Build 1 or 2, give it 2 weeks, right? Check your watch, and then build 2 more and see what happens. So that's my best advice for an excellent question.
Yes. But yeah, links should primarily help you if you've done all of your good on page. So go for it. Hey guys, have a happy new year. You too, Itamar. Lisa, right, so we've done that one. What is the best SEO editor?
Come on. Let's be serious here. Come on, guys. You guys already know. Rockstar.
2 of them. So tell me this, Chris.
Yes.
You think Rockstar and then you're drinking a gallon of water. Isn't that like counterproductive? Can't you just cut that rockstar shit out?
Well, I'm a strange individual. I consider this chemical water, right? Because it's just vitamins, caffeine. So, and then I have to live in this body for a lot of years. So I drink the water, I flush it. Drink, I flush. It's just that's how I look at it. Kind of like booze.
Body.
What's that?
Optimizing your body there.
That's
your
right.
internal organs.
It's like when you're drinking alcoholic beverages. You're always flushing. So when I wake up, I feel fresh. If I were to drink, which I don't anymore.
I'm too old to drink. Can't be asked for hangovers. But back to the questions, we will try and rattle through some in the last 4 minutes. We're actually only at 5:30 in terms of the questions, so we'll try and blast through them. What do you use for captchas? Is there a software that you can pay for once and do not have to continuously pay for captcha services?
There's a ton of them. I think XRoamer or one of them has one that's built in that works relatively well. Aside from that, 2Captcha is the service. I think it's $0.01 or $0.02 a pop. It's up to you. But what is it? XRoamer? Xevil has a good one.
Yeah, I use 2Captcha, to be honest.
2Captcha,
but it's not a one-off payment. You obviously have to top it up. It's like $0.01 or whatever. So
yeah,
it's cheap as hell. So that's all I can advise. I have some keywords in Ahrefs are 600, but Search Console has 200.
There's going to be varying numbers. Again, we talked about this when talking about volumes. It's just a baseline. It's giving you an indicator. You have to take what you can receive. For me, I'd be looking at Google. If this is saying this and this is saying this, I'm gonna switch to SEMrush because it matches over to Google. Like when I look, it's like, oh, these match up. No, I'm just kidding.
Take what Google says. I think it's going to be more. Yeah. Shabam, Cloudways or DigitalOcean?
DigitalOcean. I don't. It's not whatever is best for you. I don't want to say that.
There's a lot of good hosting companies out there, but both of them get a lot of good things from what I hear. I've got a lot of friends on them. I don't personally use those ones, but they do well. Tony P, is there a price sweet spot for promoting affiliate products? And are high ticket items, say from Amazon recommended, recognizing that it takes just as much effort to promote lower priced items? So Tony, go after the high ticket items. As you say, it takes as much effort, time and money to sell a £20 item. Why would you do that when you can sell a £200 item? There's still demand for £200, £500, £1,000 items. The volume's not going to be as high probably, but potentially it could be. So I would always go after stuff that's £100 plus, because I stupidly dived into affiliate and was selling a big bag of shite, and the average product sale was like $20, and I'm paying out for content, paying out for links. It just wasn't profitable, so I had to go after higher ticket items. Anything to add to that, Chris?
No, I've been learning that the hard way. But I was always after I really, for affiliate, I like the first model, and I'm thinking about scaling that. Like you find something that offers a bounty, you sell it once, you get $20. You sell it 10 times, you get $50, or $100. Like HostGator was giving me $100 a pop. So, I really enjoy that kind of stuff. So I don't know. Bigger ticket items, bigger competition. Lower ticket, more volume, lower competition. A lot of times. So I don't know. I'm still playing with it. I'm not the guy for that. Craig's the guy for that. That's right.
Don't chase the gold. It doesn't have to be majorly. I would always just say above £100 plus is a good way to look at it. That's just my opinion, though. I've had my fingers burnt, and
I'm still tipping
with that. So there you go. Great show as always. Thank you very much, Simon. Rafael Santos is late to the party.
Come on.
Mithun, I know, come on, man. Rafael, get signed up and subscribed and you get notified. Mithun is asking, may I know your views on money websites built on niche relevant expired domains? Are there any chance of Google penalties in the long run?
I think anything that you do that's out of the guidelines can be considered, could run into a penalty. Now, the question really is, though, out of the trillions of websites, are they going to really care what you're doing? And even if they do you already not have 10 in the pocket that you're already rebuilding again, right? So if you're getting into that game, just know that, hey, this is going to get demolished, and just know that that's part of your plan. This is going to get erased, and just keep it moving. That would be my advice to you. Just know it's going to get caught. It's just a matter of when, and then you should already have other stuff in the pipeline. My opinion.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, to counter argue that, I have used a lot of expired domains in the past and never had any single penalty to this day. Is it illegal to buy expired domains? Absolutely not. Is it against Google Terms of Service? I'm not sure. But a lot of people do it. And I think it depends on the history of that domain name is what's going to get you the penalty, not the fact that you've bought an expired domain. So if you buy something clean and you do the right things, the chances of that penalty happening could still happen. But I don't want to scare you off using it, because expired domain does work very well. So to
add into that again, what I've seen is more algorithmic, right? Because if I'm buying an expired, it's to launch what was already there and then just change out links. That's usually what I do with them. And then you're just noticing, oh man, these pages aren't ranked. Like, it's just algorithmic. I never went in the search console and was like, manual action. So no, I have to agree with you on that. Don't worry.
As well, guys. So everyone thinks that redirecting an expired domain name is going to pass the juice and everything else. Here is a tip for you. If an expired domain has a penalty, you can canonicalize it to your new website. Now, using the canonical doesn't pass the penalty. Knowledge bomb's finished now. Try it out. That's all I'm going to say, guys. A canonical does not pass the penalty. A redirect does. Do what you want with that.
Or you can 301 it to a domain and then 301 that domain to your domain. That's a double 301. There's two for one there. That's a dolly.
So don't steal that one, guys, and pass it off as your own. Do give me credit when possible. Michael, so I'm going to answer the last couple of questions here, and then we have to shoot off, because I don't want to keep Chris from what he's doing. EDU links and subdomains have no value unless the subdomain, but all right, that's not even a question. Rafael Santos is talking about the negative SEO attack. Yes, it would waste my crawl budget, because those URLs are in Google's index, and Google's crawling that and thinking they're on my website and potentially going to fuck up everything. So yes, I need to get rid of those. Chris Goldsmith, trying to rank my brother's auto detailing business in a city that is 39 miles away from where his GMB address is. Is it possible?
Absolutely. The GMB is most certainly possible if there's not a lot of competition. Secondly, you can always win within organic. It's organic. So is it possible? Sure. GMB, it matters on competition and how much traffic you're getting from that location. Organic, rules apply just like normal. So
Adam Green's got a good question here. What's your opinion on buying guest post sites from sites that state right for us? Matthew Woodward states these sites carry a lot less value since the link cannot be accessed from the homepage. What do you think?
So right for us, the question really lies, are the pages that are right for us, is it indexed? Can the page be indexed? Just because it's not accessible from the homepage doesn't mean that it can't be indexed and can't be crawled. It doesn't pass power. And then on top of that, there's massive lists out there. I shared one that was 500. If you go do a submission of 500, you don't think you could get some type of benefit? I mean, I'm sure he did some type of homework or whatnot, but you can't put that into a bucket and say all of them don't work. I mean, I just don't believe that. I just personally don't.
Yeah. And one thing I would also say is Matthew Woodward used to have right for me on his website, and his website still passes a lot of power, but he's a good guy. He knows a lot of stuff and probably has theory behind it, but I wouldn't blanket say that it doesn't work. That's absolute madness to say that. Last question, Chris Goldsmith. What's your thoughts on Bang energy drinks?
The only deciding factor for me is, Rockstar Energies are 2 for $250, right? The Bangs, they want $329 a pop. If I'm going to spend $329, I'm going to buy a Red Bull. So that's my opinion.
And Terry Power, Randy Rodey, and everyone else, we are going to wrap up now, and we will see you in the new year. Thank you for all the questions. It has been a pleasure again having you all. Just make sure you do check out Mr. Chris Palmer's YouTube as well. He offers a lot of value there, and check him out. He does offer a lot of value to the community. But on that note, guys, don't get too drunk, and we will see you all again next week. So catch you all soon.
See you then. Happy New Year. Thank you. Thank you, Craig.